Hello, everyone. Back today to talk to you a little bit more about the concept of choosing to respond when you notice you are reacting, and that process that we go through in just getting grounded that makes the difference in whether you're in a reactive state within your own psychology, your own feelings, your own thoughts, or whether you're reacting externally to the situations and circumstances around you. And we really have the ability to make choices when we practice ahead of time, finding your center, finding your grounding. And we can do that by practicing breathing. So, we're going to do a couple of breathing exercises that are here to remind you that when you tap back into your breath, you get grounded in the body. And there is a definite difference between reacting to internal and external dynamics and responding. So, remember and understand that response means that you have your sense of empowerment with you. And the way to feel empowered is to get grounded. If you're in a reaction mode, what happens is that you are moving into that human pattern that is how you deal with a circumstance or a thought or a feeling that is coming up. So that is what brings on anxiety, let's say, is that you start to have certain feelings internally, and then you realize that you're having that feeling. And then in the process of the feeling, you start to react. Okay. So knowing that you have the tools to respond, whether it's to anxiety, anger, fear, frustration, just that cabin fever that you might be going through, having too many people around you for too long of a time in a small space, not being able to be in a normal routine or have a sense of internal or external freedom. All of those can trigger these reactions in emotions, in thoughts, and also in our physical bodies, which we would call tension. So, any of those feelings are valid feelings. What we want to do is know there's a way to choose to empower yourself. When you choose to empower yourself, you have the ability to take the next step into response and responding first with the breath. Okay. So, in our exercises, which help you prepare for any moment when you need to tap back in to find the empowerment to make a choice toward self care, is going to help you take that step, take those steps, the continued steps in every now moment. Because what happens is when you go into reaction, you are usually in some pattern that you created in your past. When you can come into the present moment with breathing and feeling grounded in this moment in your body, you cut that off. You cut through any of that past response, reaction into the present where you respond internally, and that's your empowerment. So, the first thing we're going to talk about with breathing practice, which helps you to then find the breath in any moment. So, when you start to tap into your breath regularly, you're able to then feel it when you need to call on it in those tight places, in those moments where you're going into a reactive mode. Okay. So, make a commitment to yourself as part of your self care to practice these exercises for breathing on a daily basis, and they're going to condition you to find your empowerment and feel grounded and centered in the moment. So we start first by, if you can find, if you're sitting on the couch and you're having a moment, then you don't necessarily have to go find a chair, get centered. You're going to feel your feet, whether you're standing or sitting, and get grounded by wiggling your toes. And then we're going to start with some cleansing breaths. So the first thing we're working on is just interrupting that pattern of reaction that you're going into. So let's start with cleansing breaths, which are breathing in through your nose, letting it out long and out slow through the mouth. So you're going to inhale, now out through the mouth. Breathe it in. Good. One more. Inhale. Now, just those three cleansing breaths just took a matter of seconds, and you have already started to make a choice to support yourself. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. Now, if you're feeling reactive that's tense, we can add shoulder shrugs to that. So let's do three cleansing breath with the shoulder shrugs. Inhale, up and breathe in. Now out through the mouth, drop the shoulders. Inhale. One more, crunch it up and let it out. And then just start to move the head and that'll help to relax the neck a bit. So we're just starting by interrupting that beginning sense of feeling reactive. And you may have already been in 5 full minutes of tension or anger or anxiety before you remember to even do this. It's okay. The minute you can have the pattern of going into realizing, I want to respond, you have begun the process of becoming empowered. Okay. And responding means getting grounded and breathing, starting with the cleansing breaths. So, the next thing that we're going to work on is just um, breath of joy. So, breath of joy, we do this in our yoga practice where we actually use arms for some aerobics to move oxygen around the body. But we're just going to do it sitting, okay? Or standing, wherever you're at. Take 3 long breaths in through the nostrils before you exhale. You're going to take 3 sniffs in through the nose. Now breathe it out through the mouth. So we're jolting ourselves with oxygen. Let's do 3 rounds of that. Breathe in 3 times, out through the mouth. We're going to do 3 rounds. Ready? Breathe in 3 times. Again, inhale. Last one, inhale. Now, start regular inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Just start to feel yourself breathe. So, jolting yourself with some oxygen and releasing toxins through that out breath through the mouth. And the only time we breathe out through the mouth is when we're doing cleansing, when we're interrupting those patterns and getting ourselves into a state of preparing to breathe deeply. Okay. So now you've created a little bit of that disruption to start to breathe a little deeper. And we're going to start with a counted balance breath. So you're going to count how long you breathe in and then count that same amount out, in and out through the nostrils. If you breathe into 3, you're going to breathe out to 3. If you inhale to 4, pace it out to 4. So you're learning to balance the inhale and the exhale. Let's practice that together now. Count how long you breathe in and then pace it back out the same breath. Now, this is not a false sense of control. Keep going. Balance the breath with counting. It is actually a sense of empowerment because you are finding a way to balance. You're moving into a concept of balance for the body, the mind, the emotions. And you're doing it by using your tool of breathing, a balanced inhalation and exhalation. And remember, you can do this any moment. Just start to move into balancing the breath by counting how long you breathe in silently to yourself and pacing that same breath out. And you may still run into rough edges. You may still feel the body feeling tense or the mind racing. Put your attention, this is why we're counting, to put the attention, put your mind and your emotions onto counting, which links you into the body and into the breath. Balanced breathing, the same pace in and the same pace out. Now, as you're pacing that breath out, the same count in, the same count out, just also feel into the body. Notice anywhere that is relaxed. So when you're doing this work, you want to feel the places that are responding. Even if it's just the little pinky, or you feel some softening in the belly, or you can relax the shoulders a bit while you're counting evenly in and out. Good. So I would say a good 2 to 3 minutes of this as a regular daily practice. You can do it several times a day of just feeling the breath balanced. And then you can call on it in any moment to help you respond to any tension, anxiety, anger, fear that might be emerging. Breathe with it, and you begin to respond wisely. You begin to shift out of old patterns and create a powerful new presence for yourself in the moment. Okay, so once you get balanced in the breath, we're going to work on lengthening the exhalation. I've said before, if you've heard this before, remember it. 70% of the toxins that leave your body leave through the exhale. Toxins are just anything that is coming up that needs released. The physical body actually is always operating and produces toxins. 70% of that leaves your body through the exhalation. Okay. The other 30% are excrements and sweat. So we're not sweating from doing a lot of workout unless you have an indoor gym. Um, my friend uh, does some uh, aerobics using video CD. There's a lot online. So you can still get that movement in. But remember that breathing is the essential way to release what you can no longer use. So amplifying the exhalation is going to help condition that muscle along the base of the rib cage, your diaphragm, to be stronger for you when you're not even thinking about breathing. Okay. So we're going to lengthen the exhalation. We do that by counting how long you breathe in and then doubling the exhale. So if you breathe into 3, you're going to now pace the breath out for 8, for 6, 4 will be 8, 5 will be 10. But remember, if you breathe into 2 and exhale to 4, if you're having an anxiety situation, then breathing into 2 and exhaling to 4 is going to help you help your body, your emotions, the mind. So continue now. Let's do that work together. Breathe in, counting silently how long you breathe in, and double the exhalation. If you run out of breath when you're trying to double the exhale, the next round just try to slow it down a little more until you find that pace and rhythm. And you practice, you train yourself to breathe out a little longer than you're breathing in for the purposes of releasing toxins, tension, negativity, and to strengthen the diaphragm. Counting that breath in silently to yourself, doubling how long you breathe out, all through the nostrils. Breathing it in. As you breathe in, you might be able to take in a next count up. If you're breathing into 3, you might be able to take in the breath to 4 and then double it to 8. Whatever you breathe in, you're going to make it twice as long on the exhalation. Regular practice of this breath, counting with doubling the exhalation, is going to give you a great sense of empowerment Empowerment lets go of the concept of needing to control anything and just brings you into the present moment where you can choose. And when you choose to be grounded, centered, and breathing well, you create the kind of self care that helps you to choose the next moment to relax, the next moment to make a difference in a way that you know supports you. Maybe you need to go to a different room and just take some space for yourself. Maybe you need to get more movement and you realize that sitting and idling and ruminating on what worries you does not support self care. And then you move into a different choice. But first, you need to condition your body, your breath, your mind, your emotions to help you choose wiser. Good job, everybody, because you all can do this. You all can do this. Practicing breathing exercises conditions you to choose empowerment, to choose responding instead of reacting. Good. All right. And then there's one more we're going to do, and this one is for a variation of alternate nostril breathing. Okay. If you're feeling sluggish, you need to work more on getting some fire going in your nervous system to help you shift into a sense of having activity that comes from empowerment. If you're feeling overheated, if you have worry, concern, if you're not sleeping well, okay, if you're feeling anxiety, then you need to use the cooling conversation in your body. The breath gives us the opportunity to tap into these conversations. Okay. So you have nodes that are up inside of the nostrils that actually swell and shrink based on a rhythm that naturally happens in your body. So if you just close off one nostril and breathe in and out, and then check the other side, you're going to notice that one side is a little more stuffy. It's going to feel a little more stuffy than the other side. That side is the swelled side, and the other side is your dominant nostril. So we actually always have a dominant nostril when we are in balance. That means that the one side is cooling us, and then about 90 minutes to 2 hours later, the other nostril is going to become the dominant nostril. This happens naturally. And if you never knew that, it's because nobody ever talks about it unless you're in the yoga world. So I'm letting you all know that you have a rhythm system that creates balance for your nervous system. It can go out of balance. So that's why we practice alternate nostril breathing. We want those two parts of our nervous system to be working together, to be conditioned and toned, balanced, and operational in a way that support your body. Okay. So we're going to start today with conditioning the right nostril to breathe first. So we're going to take your left palm up over your left eye, and I'm using my left palm. So you're going to go to your left. Good. Close off that left nostril with the side of the hand. Cover your eye and just close your eyes and breathe in and out only through the right nostril. Now, if you are feeling lethargic, depressed, then this isn't the side that this is the side that you're going to want to work with to stimulate some fire in your systems. But you're going to do both sides so that you have balance. Okay. So we're just starting first. This also stimulates your digestive system. So for some of us, if we're sitting around too much, you can actually get some constipation, sluggishness in the nervous system. So by breathing through the right nostril, you are stimulating your digestive system along with many other heat systems of the body that need to be in balance. And after about 8 or 10 nice long breaths, you can go longer if you know that you're conditioning this process of balance. But we're going to switch sides now. So now you're going to bring the right hand up, close off the right nostril. And now we're breathing only through the left nostril. Long, slow, deep breaths only through the left nostril. This is if you're having trouble sleeping, if you have a lot of anxiety, if the mind is racing, you need to cool off the nervous system and quiet the mind, ground the emotions. But of course, you also want to do the right side so that you have balance in all of your system. And after about 8 or 10 nice long rounds, or a little longer, rest both hands down on your lap and just breathe in and out through two nostrils. Feel your feet on the floor, lift the heart a little bit, and just feel a sense of being in your whole body. From the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, just breathe and feel a sense of being heavy and grounded and in the whole body. Great. Okay, hang in there, everybody. And remember that you can choose these practices in any moment that you are feeling that you're getting reactive, and you can feel that inside of yourself or see it happening externally around you by how you are in circumstances, and take the time to come back into balance so that you can respond powerfully instead of react. Okay, blessings to everyone. Namaste.